AITAH? I don't think so. But today I'm going to do another reaction video because my team asked me to, which I'm happy to oblige. In today's video, I will be reacting to Reddit post under the Am I the subreddit. Before I'm going to do a reaction, welcome back to our channel. My name is Maki from My Transgender Date, the #1 dating site for trans women. AITAH for refusing to dump my trans girlfriend even though my family says I have to. I'm 20 male, have been dating Maria, 20 female, a trans woman for 6 months, and honestly, she's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. Oh, Maria, you're just the luckiest person ever to have this guy. She's kind, funny, and ridiculously supportive. I guess you're lucky for Maria too. She believes in me in a way my family never has. When I'm doubting myself about school or my future, she's the one who lifts me up. She doesn't just say she loves me, she shows it every day. Yeah, no, don't dump her. Really, this is a love story of a lifetime. I know it's very difficult between your family and the girl that you're dating with, but you have to be strong. Or if you don't really need to choose, then make sure that your family understand where you're coming from. I mean, it's easier for me to say this, especially if you're coming from a conservative family. Ugh, this is heartbreaking. You're giving me problems, really. So the problem is my family. They're extremely... I just said it. I have read the future. They're extremely religious and super traditional. Focus. When I introduced Maria to them, I thought it went okay. But a few days later, my mom came to me crying saying, "Oh my gosh, this is one tactic of emotional blackmailing." I loathe this. A few days later, my mom came to me crying, saying she's praying for my soul. Oh my freaking God. This is triggering me because I have an experience where a family member actually told me that she can pray for my soul. Like as if my soul is not colorful enough. Duh. My dad said I'm living in sin, where all of us aren't we living in a sin. And my brother, 28 male, straight up called me gay and told me I'm disgusting. You're trying to preach the word of the God, yet you're the one calling your own brother disgusting, as if God is not within your brother, and embarrassing the family. This is so heartbreaking, and this is very common in places where you grew up with a very traditional and conservative culture. Ugh. A few weeks ago, my parents invited me to what I thought was a regular family dinner, but it turned into an intervention of sorts. They sat me down, handed me a stack of Bible verses and said Maria was unnatural because trans women and dolls are immortals. We're just plain beauty. We're goddesses. And that I'm rejecting God. They begged me to break up with her to save my soul. On a very serious note though, this is really difficult, and I bet this person is not alone. There are so many men who, in fact, this is actually one of those many stories why so many men are afraid and scared of dating a trans woman because of their own family. And this goes back to acceptance, really. If your family can accept you for who you truly are, it would be so difficult for you to live your most potential self. Because the very community that has been with you in your childhood and in your growth impedes you to be the person that you are and to be with the person that you love. And this is heartbreaking. And this is one of the many reasons why men are so afraid to be true to their feelings towards trans women. Because of these situations, it's either you lose your family or you lose the trans girlfriend. When I told them I wasn't ending things, they gave me an ultimatum. Either dump Maria, see, I was just telling you earlier, or they'll cut me off completely. And another reason why men are so afraid of being with trans women, even if they love being with trans women, even if they genuinely wanted to be in a relationship with trans women, they are so afraid of losing their own family and probably friends, and sadly, probably work too. No financial help, no family gatherings, no support. This is huge because I still live at home and depend on them to finish college. I've been religious my whole life, but I've been questioning things a lot lately. And it's right for you to question things, especially if the religion that you believe in and you grow in is only emulating or teaching you to be hateful towards others or to unloved a person. My family's supposed to love me unconditionally, right? And support you with no reservations. But instead, they're turning their backs on me because I love someone that they don't approve of. It's crushing and it's making me lose faith, not just in them, but maybe in God too. Don't lose faith in yourself and don't lose on the person or the being or the God that you believe in. It's easier to advise, to approach it in a more compassionate way or understand your family because they also don't know what trans is, or they also have no idea that dolls exist and they can be your life partner. But I'm always hopeful that education, and for those people who are willing to be educated, could really, and most of the time, amend things or at least meet halfway. But there are also those people who doesn't really want to understand, who doesn't want to be educated and wanted to keep believing what they believe in. And that's just sad. Maria knows what's going on and she's been incredible. She told me she'd understand if I needed to break things off. But how could I do that? She's the one person who makes me feel like I'm worth something. Honestly, if you're not feeling any positive things in your family, then what's family for? That breaks my heart saying that, but there's so many people who actually have experienced this, even trans people themselves. I don't want to lose her, but losing my family feels impossible too. Yep, I feel you. I mean, I'm lucky that I don't have to choose between my family and the things that my family or me being trans. But I can imagine the pain to be in a situation where you're torn between losing your family or losing the person who you believe and whom you feel valued. Oh gosh, this is heartbreaking. My brother keeps texting me awful things, calling me a confused little boy with a fetish. Your brother have watched too many graphic videos perhaps, seeing trans women as a fetish, and saying I'm throwing away everything that matters. Part of me wonders if he's right, but the thought of letting Maria go hurts like hell. No, totally. If you don't see Maria as a fetish, then no. If you love Maria as a person more than being her as a trans woman, if you see her as a life partner, if you see her as someone who values you, if you see her as someone who can help you grow to be the best version of yourself, then you're not. Anyways, AITH for refusing to give in to my family's demands? No, totally not. It's difficult, but you don't have to label things that you are the bad person here, that you're the asshole here. No, totally not. Do not ever let that cross into your mind because love knows no gender. And love is about love conquers all. This is just so sad. The description of this post is in the video, so if you wanted to advise this person, go ahead. And also if you wanted to leave in your reaction to the story, please leave it in the comment section. I would really appreciate it and I would love to read them. And to the next story. AITH for not wanting to room with a trans person. What does that mean? Am I the for not wanting to room with a trans person? I got a 4-bedroom off-campus housing and didn't have enough roommates, so I put in a request to find 3 more roommates who were in the area and it was in their price range. The school found 3 other people and naturally I looked them up to see who they were, and one of them was a trans girl. I'm a female, by the way. I didn't really think about it because on the request I put female roommates. I messaged the school about it and they apologized. We moved her and found another roommate. I don't have any problem. No, you do. Yes, you do. I don't have any problem with any LGBTQA person. Yes, you do. Totally you have. And believe trans women are real on, but I just wouldn't be comfortable in this situation. I wouldn't say you are an but how do I put this? Probably you are not just been introduced to trans people and that's why you have this fear or discomfort to be having a roommate of a trans person. And that's completely valid because you probably have some things to clarify. That's why you have this feeling of being uncomfortable. And that's completely normal. I wouldn't say it's, you're being difficult or being an for refusing to be with a trans person, because I think that's completely normal. I think it's a little bit discriminatory. I also see your point of view where you judge them for their gender identity, and your judgment is basically based on what you've read, you've heard, you've seen, you believed, and that's on you. But you're actually being for saying you don't have a problem. Yes, you do. That's it. I am uncomfortable being with a trans woman, and that's it. Like, you have your own reasons, and people cannot question you for that unless you attack a person or you're like, oh, because of this, of that. Like, your post is completely valid. The only problem here that I see is that you are stating you don't have a problem, but then you are uncomfortable. Like, that sounds condescending to me. I just don't see that point. There's one comment here, you're saying you're literally doing housing discrimination based only on her being gender. Yeah, exactly. You being honest about you being uncomfortable about it is not really an ass, but I would personally say you saying you don't have a problem but uncomfortable at the same time, it sounds like a mess. Perhaps I would say better educate yourself or try to heal whatever you are uncomfortable with, and that's it. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if you say something, if you're not comfortable with a trans person, but I think it's also a matter of being accountable. Why are you uncomfortable of that before you post something like this? On to the next story. AITA telling my trans friend she needs to disclose that she's trans to a man. Oh no, you're not being AITA. You're totally being like a best friend. That is for real. But let's read the story first. Using a throwaway account for this. I have a friend, which is normal by the way for doing that. Known her for years since we were young, and she was pre-transitioning. We're older now. She's had work done and been on hormones since she was 18. If you met her, I can honestly tell you, you'd never guess she was trans. However, she does still currently have. Which, by the way, there are so many trans people, and there are trans people who are comfortable with it. But that's not the point here. Just a side note. She tends to go with men who are fully aware she is trans. She had that she was trans on her dating profile. She moved away now. We still talk. She eventually told me she met a guy around 2 months ago. They're dating. She then went on to tell me that she met him on a new dating site she was trying out. I thought nothing more of it. The next day she messaged me and we were talking more about him, and then she told me some things, including that he has no idea that she's trans. She didn't disclose it on this new dating profile, and she hasn't told him. I asked her why and also said, surely you've slept together, no? She often slept with me. She's dated by now, so I just assumed. She said no, and that his being patient on the side. She's making him wait, but to keep him sweet, she's his and give him a few times. I did some reaction video on this about disclosing that you're a trans woman, when to disclose. I don't know why you're not disclosing this, girl, but yes, it's really right for you. And it's very helpful of you to tell your friend to disclose it, especially that you are in this situation that you're already having a fling and flirting and intimate moments. As a trans person, this is really dangerous. And you're right for posting this, because I can also understand if you are somebody else's, if you're a friend of a trans person and telling you about all these things, you're probably scared for her too. I then just outright said, you need to tell him exactly. And she said, I will, but I want him to oh my gosh, this is so isn't like her, and I was dumbfounded, to be honest. I told her, you can't wait for that. You need to tell him. Absolutely. You're right in telling her that sooner rather than later. 2 months is already a while. He may be disappointed or even get mad if he finds out. Exactly. You're completely lying to this person, and you being a friend, telling your trans girlfriend to tell the person that she's dating with that she's trans is the right thing to do. You're being a very good friend. And she said, why would he be mad if he really likes me? I mean, your girlfriend might really, really like this person, and that's why she's acting that way. Completely not being mindful and logical of her approach could lead to her demise. I mean, I don't want to think about anything happen, but like, it could completely hurt her, and it could hurt the man too, And I just said respectfully, and I'm sorry, but you still currently have. He's a totally straight man. I mean, there are straight men who are into this. You're wrong about assuming that straight men are not into trans women who have not undergone bottom surgery. But I get your point. This man that your girlfriend is dating with probably already assumed that she had a full surgery, or if he didn't really have a hint that she's trans, then this guy would probably be thinking that she is cis. He's totally straight man who thinks he's dating a biological woman. She didn't like me saying that. I get it, but I think it's important that she tell him. I can understand why your friend would be offended by what you just said, because yeah, that one is a wrong part, but that's not the point. Like, I can totally understand about you saying those things. I can understand that you also come from a good place for telling her that. But I must tell you that what you're doing is just completely correct. You're saving your girlfriend here. I tried to explain to her that this could also be dangerous for her in not telling him sooner. You never know how this guy might react. Whatever reaction would that be, any form of violence is unacceptable, but this person, this trans girl, must be accountable. She should be telling this guy about her identity. Not every man is so open to trying that out. Some men like strictly, and it would appear that this guy thinks they're waiting for him in her pants. She sent him underwear pics where she tucked tightly. Honestly, you would never know. I think it's a dangerous game, and I told her that. 2 months is too long, and I think she was silly to wait this long. But now she's freaked out and worried. No, you're not being an ass for telling her that she must tell this guy that she is trans. You are being a good friend. I don't know. This is like one of the very reason why we have created My Transgender Date. I can understand that some of us trans women have this difficulty in sharing that they are trans. And you also have this tendency that people might have a hint or an idea. But seriously though, one of the very reason why we have created My Transgender Date is that we wanted to eliminate the awkwardness of telling the person you're chatting with that you are trans, because the people or the men who sign up for My Transgender Date already knows what they're looking for, and they're looking for a trans woman. And if you are on a generic dating platform, as what I've mentioned in my previous video, reaction video about disclosing your gender identity to the person you're dating with, it's really important that you have to tell them on the first few days of your conversation. It's really, really important. And for a girlfriend who has been so worried about her trans girlfriend, it is valid. And you're being a friend for being brutally honest with her. That's just the right thing to advise, really. Especially that this girl is looking for an advice. I mean, like, girl, if you're watching this, I hope you're watching this. You really have to tell this person immediately. I'm happy for this reaction video. Those are the posts that my team have prepared for me to react for this video, and I'm loving it. Wow. And if you wanted to share or have some stories, please comment down below. I would love to read them and interact with you. This is a really, really beautiful conversation. I'm happy doing this reaction video, and if you love them, please make sure to hit the like button. That's for now, and see you in the next video.